Happy leap year, happy leap day, happy leap month, happy leap, just let's leap forward and do the last episode that I'm going to submit to the hashtag Anime Taught Me playlist. And this time we are focusing solely on writing magic systems. Let's rock it. Or nay, in honor of anime, shouldn't I mention Cowboy Bebop? It is magical in its own right? Let's jam. Welcome back again to my last entry to the 2024 edition of hashtag Anime Taught Me. My name is Jenna O'Malley. I am your soul writer, author of sci-fi fantasy with dashes of romance and nerdy references, alongside the raw stories my characters weave throughout time and space, inspired by anime more often than not. I do enjoy helping other soul bards get back to writing after life has been unfair so that they can heal and maybe even, intentionally or not, help their readers heal too. Today, we're going to go ahead and look at the way anime influenced my writing of magic systems in 5 ways, as I mentioned. I do have a list. Lady Nerd is smart. Her brain is too busy to not do this without a list, so pardon me while I consult the notes once in a while. So establish limitations. I'm going to go right to probably the one thing I've talked about most this playlist. Goku, no, not everybody needs to have their power levels above 9,000. Anime tends to work well when the magical systems in the world have some sort of limitation to them. I'm going to quote one of my favorite characters from the live action series Once Upon a Time. For those of you who used to watch it on ABC, I think it's on Disney, part of Disney Plus now. One of my favorite characters from Rumpelstiltskin, who is aka the Beast from Belle. He says, magic always comes with a price, dearie. And anime that play on that well, it makes the battles so much juicier. Cody and I here lately have been watching a couple of different shows that have been playing on this concept tenfold in other ways than what I'll probably mention below. One that we have watched recently is Blue-Eyed Samurai. To those of my friends I know who are watching this right now, spoilers, mute it for about a minute or jump ahead. Take your pick. On the other hand, Blue-Eyed Samurai doesn't necessarily exist in a world of magic. It is historical fiction about a character who is essentially an onryo, a female samurai who kicks a lot of butt. She's half-breed. She's part gaijin, hence why she has blue eyes. So she disguises herself as a guy and grows up to be a samurai to wreak revenge for some stuff that went on in her childhood. That's the basic premise of the whole plot. Now, as her own sense, she has like this sixth sense sort of magic. And that's kind of the quality of the onryo, is they have this sixth sense about them. But there's so many limitations. Our main character does rightfully, we're talking like, I'm going to get a little graphic here. Battle would include projectiles through the torso. And she would still be like, oh my God, my sword arm. Okay, let me pick up a sword and just keep on going. And every time stuff like that would happen, her eyes would start a little bit more vibrant blue, a little bit more vibrant blue. It's like, oh. They did this on purpose. Hello, Courtney. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing well. Number 2, establish not just limitations. Notice she had a signal that could give away her skill. That's a limitation, in my opinion. Sailor Moon's whole heshiste makeup moments, those are gorgeous. They are limitations. Why an enemy hasn't thought more than twice in the whole 200-ish episodes to attack mid-change is beyond me. Those are limitations. Just finished work, love it. What books are you finishing up, friend? So boundaries, I think, would be beyond just dead giveaways. Or should I say unalived giveaways? Anyway, this could be even to boundaries of what you can get from the magical properties in the world around you. I'm talking potion making and weapon and armor smithing here. And I'm looking specifically at an anime, Delicious in Dungeon. No, I didn't forget the articles don't exist in Asian languages. They are mostly a Indo-European centric language family thing. Linguistic soapbox may show up again. No promises. No promises. And Cordy's probably going to back me on this. Or correct me if I'm slightly off. Please do, friend. Delicious in Dungeon focuses on dungeon crawling. Hence the title. The delicious part, it's food related. So a lot of the anime is about what you do and don't eat to survive as you crawl deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. There's boundaries to what certain foods on certain levels can last you, not just calorie counts wise so long, but buffers wise so long. And those things would apply. Oh, that's right, Tycho's arc. I can't wait to hear more about this. It's going to be awesome. So awesome. Remind me to get links to brag on Tycho, by the way. I want to read this when it comes out after all you've talked and hinted about it. Number 3, we're looking at establishing opposites as well. There's one anime that has capitalized on elemental magical powers being cleverly paired together and against each other in opposite fashions. If you're not catching them all by now, oh my goodness, Pokemon's elemental systems. Having taught K-12 over the last 15 years off and on, my students were talking gibberish, and I was Gen 1, Gen 2, the original, like I was in 6th grade with Gen 1 and Gen 2. But they talk circles around me. I'm like, oh my God, the magical system lore of a Pokemon is an iceberg now. So you can see where it started really simple. Typical things like, fire and water. They kind of cancel each other out. What does earth cancel? If you have psionic powers involved, Cherry Sinclair, how do you counteract them? Unfortunately, lots of iron. Anyway, so you can see where it becomes do you have an opposite in a world that's even not a magical item whatsoever? Is alchemy involved in your world? And does that work to the benefit of magic or to the detriment of magic and its user? Those things could start coming into play here as natural oppositions. Then you go into, of course, number 4, establishing the traditional rules, because we all know magic has its old school rules dating all the way back to insert era and culture you prefer to reference here historically or fictionally. If you want me to take you on an anime viewing journey, bestie, we can start a weekly anime viewing storytelling group together. I am so up for that. Huge hugs to you, sweetheart. Just a reminder to my friends who are part of the Heart Breathings writing community or sprinting communities in general, she's taking a rightful night off. Go watch her replays. Even if you're watching me on the replay with this, go watch Jody Jean's channel, grab a replay of something, watch it now. Do it right now. I mean it. I love ya. So, actually, I'm kind of surprised you're not into anime more, given the books you write are based in an Asian culture. And given that you love the certain shows and groups you do, I have a couple of anime in mind for you. Oh boy, and I'm sure QWERTY would too, because QWERTY's lived in Japan, and I'm sure if I mention a couple, a list will come your way. We'll set you up, buddy. We'll set you up. So, establishing the traditional rules, you really need to pay attention to if they are coming from a cultural background. Nefteri Sinclair, again, play on it. I mentioned her a second time because she's from Egyptian culture, Macedonian culture. Her man is Scottish. I have two different cultures I can play on if I so dang well wish. And there's some anime that'll do that. Specifically going to go ahead and cite Uncle from Another World because the main character, the uncle, travels to kind of different interconnected worlds. I'm also going to, of course, bring Fushi Yugi back here because kind of the same applies. In this world, it is a traditional facet that somebody born with a certain marking has magical powers. That's like a multicultural thing, right? I mean, even Harry Potter has a bestowed upon him as a young age mark that everyone in the world who knows that what that mark means basically knows he's a wizard. Enjoy, Miyaka and Yui. Enjoy. um, for another example here with the traditional rules, I would like to also point out that Sailor Moon took some of the traditional Greek, Roman, and whatnot pantheons and kind of bent them a little bit with Asian cultural references. So you do have things like Usagi is a Cancer. And if you know anything about the Cancer star sign, oh, of course, the moon the planet astrologically, the moon, planetarily speaking, likes to live in the sign of Cancer. Apparently, they're buddies. What's the ruling planet for Virgo? Mercury, Mars, and Aries. You see a pattern here. And if you know anything about their mythological counterparts, some of us are going, "Oh my god, Sama was a yes." Nerd. And I was going to say, even this, Usagi means rabbit. And it's related to the folklore of the rabbit and the moon. So it's the princess, even in the moon, specifically is tied in because they have a legend that is, in some regions, just about a girl that isn't even a bunny from the moon. There's like multiple moon princess stories throughout Japanese history. And the most known one is the one for which Usagi was named, hence why her last name is Tsukino, of the. That's no. And then moon. Well, there's no article, so I guess it's just Usagi of moon, if you want to be literal, in some sense. Yep, Princess Kaguya. So you have, hence why there was the spinoff with Luna as a human in some parts, in my opinion. And yep, and it's just you can assume that all the princesses had a similar but not exactly the same story, including potentially her and Venus even actually being cousins, like the historical mythological says they should be, which is kind of cool that it possibly goes that deep. Moving on to the last one for the night and established what your anti-rules are. So take the trad, throw out what you hate, and ask yourself, why did I hate it? That's what you need to add back in its place. I'm looking at, this is one I don't think I've finished watching, Shield Hero, where it's a limitational weapon based. Even certain video games get into this. I'm looking hard at you, Kingdom Hearts, because in Kingdom Hearts, if you pick your starting weapon and then throw away another item, it messes your stats up for the whole game. There's a ton of anime. Pokemon even does this. Goodness gracious. What do you pick as your starter Pokemon affects how hard the first gym is. Do not pick Squirtle if it's your first time playing, or any water if it's your first time playing the game and you don't want to. handed to you by the lightning guy or the rock guy. Just say. Reboot into the kind, Jenna. No bad words. I was going to say, even their last names, just the kanji broken down to you're like, oh, fire kid, water kid. If you want a loose, slangy translation. Speaking of people who have, this is kind of a perfect time for you to join in here for this, my friend. Mama Maggie has contributed several items to the hashtag Anime Taught Me playlist there. And if you want to go ahead and check out that playlist, you are going to want to go ahead and use the link. Whoops. And check out Mama Maggie's videos. Mama Maggie has added a couple here recently, so you do not want to miss out on that. Oh, man, it split the link at a not pretty place. I was fearing it would do, so let me resend as a pretty link. As a pretty link. And anyone else, if I missed your video on this playlist, let me know. You have one more. Okay. So Mama Maggie's going to be allotted a makeup day. I wanted it done today, but I know you've been traveling a lot lately too. So you can have a makeup day because you were traveling, in my opinion. If anyone else has one to add, let me know. I'll get you added. And hellos to the Mama Maggie for sure. And our final point here. Take what you don't want, throw it out, but have a reason why you don't want it. For me, it's probably going to be due to one of the rules above. I might not want X, Y, and Z, and here's why. A couple. Oh, I almost said a word I shouldn't say. It's a remake. I will say that it's a new version. It's a remake. It begins with a B, and it's a bad word, and it's 7-ish letters long. Refers to a person who does not know who their natural born father is. There you go. That anime with an exclamation point at the end. That anime takes a lot of magical rules and almost to Inuyasha levels, puts them in a blender, pulse, 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 throw it out the window. Almost sometimes. And it's just out of nowhere, seemingly there are these limitations, these boundaries that come into play. And it's part, I was probably say, for the sake of Inuyasha's never-ending plot, it seems, might be for elongating plot. Hello, Precious. It's good to see you. Thank you for stopping in, my friend. We're going to go ahead and get starting to wind down here before my Irish potty mouth gets me demonetized, before I'm fully monetized. That would not be cool. The next time you see me on this playlist, it'll be because in March, on a Saturday or Sunday, all of us who are collabing on this playlist are working to do a wrap-up collaborative Q&A live stream. Just reflecting back, all of us in group panel format. So check out here. We may be multi-streaming that to different channels for funsies. I think it'll be an absolute blast. There's a handful of us or so. And we've done over 20 videos between the handful of us, which is epic, epic amazing. I hope to do another one of these wintry themed, get us through the slump of January and February challenges. I know around from like March until November, we're all pretty busy with different writing events. And then, you know, Vlogmas keeps most of us busy for December. It's like January and February felt like there was always a little bit of a down lull for us. So thank you very much to everyone who has participated in this playlist collaboratively, and I cannot wait to maybe, if not do something about anime and manga in the future, maybe video games. And above all, thank you for taking care of yourself, my dear friends. I cannot also wait to see you over on my other channel. Wait, what? Jenna has a second channel? Jenna has a second channel, and if you want to check it out, you better go do so soon. Bye!